departs with Bowie Television with a post-game Ravens rundown here at M&T Bank Stadium, where the Baltimore Ravens stood on business against the Houston Texans and came out on top with a 34-10 win that gives them the opportunity to host their first AFC Championship in franchise history, but it's also the first AFC Championship game in the city of Baltimore since 1971. Now, can't lie, the first half of this game was a little shaky. The Ravens did get on the board first with a Justin Tucker 53-yard field goal, so that set the tone for the game, but you could tell the Ravens did not have a rhythm offensively, so this game was tied 10-10 at the half. But Lamar Jackson said in post-game that he had a very inspiring half-game speech for his teammates where there was a lot of cursing going on, but whatever, because it sent the message, and this team came out completely different in the second half. They scored out the gate, coming out of halftime on their first drive, and from there, it was really all she wrote. Lamar Jackson, he finished this game with 2 rushing touchdowns and 2 passing touchdowns. You could tell that if he had to put this game on his back, he was going to do it. Dalvin Cook, he also made his Ravens debut more so towards the end of the game. Didn't get a lot of carries, but enough to show that he is here and ready to play. Once again, the Ravens will be here Sunday at 3 p.m. hosting the AFC Championship. They are waiting to find out who their opponent is, but make sure you stay tuned to Bowie TV for all your Ravens coverage, because we'll have it for you.
Because I think it's the right thing to do, and it's a verse. Greatness, power, glory, victory, and honor belong to you, because everything in heaven and on earth belongs to you. The kingdom belongs to you, Lord. You are the head and the ruler over everything. So there's an amazing spirit on this team, and I just want to kind of give honor and glory where it's due. With that, first ever AFC Championship game. We played in Baltimore since 1970. John Sandusky, Jerry Sandusky's dad, was the offensive line coach here, so we're excited about that. And our fans are going to get a chance to cheer just as loud or louder than they did in this game, and they were amazing. 6 false start penalties. I thought our fans were incredible, man. It was deafening out there. So credit to our fans, first of all. Coaches and players, I thought, did a great job. Second half adjustments were really strong. And Lamar just played out his mind along our defense. Everybody did. So proud of our guys. It's the first step. Next step is in front of us. We'll find out who we play after tomorrow, and we're looking forward to it.
John, a 10-10.
Crew was good. I think everybody's just kind of a little edgy. You know, we're all a little edgy. I mean, I talked to him last night. Like, I don't even know how we feel. None of us know how we feel. We're excited for the opportunity, but we're edgy and we're mad. You know, we got a lot to prove, and I felt that was kind of the feeling in the locker room at the game. And everybody just kind of took a deep breath and said, "All right, you know, it's 0-0. Gave up a big punt return, and it's our game to go win. We got to go take it."
John, what did you think of?
A lot of guys have turned over since 2019, but over the last 2 weeks, how powerfully did that memory kind of linger for you, or for Lamar, or motivate anybody that contribute to the edginess you were feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a good question. I just think for those who were here, I mean, it's not something to forget, but it wasn't really in the forefront of our minds. It's just a different team. It's a different opponent. But it's not something you want to experience again. We've been through it once before, so I think it's probably part of it.
John, what did you think of the defense dominant day again, only giving up 3 points?
The defense was just as good as it could be. And that's a good offense over there. That's a good quarterback. C.J. Stroud deserves a lot of credit. They're very well coached. Their offensive line is really good and tough. It's tough to get to the quarterback. Then he gets out and he starts running around and starts making plays downfield. But I thought our guys chased him. I thought our plaster downfield, our coverage was just outstanding. We covered as long as we needed to so many times. He still made some really good throws in there. So running back, I thought our defense was just as good as it could be.
John, you mentioned second half adjustments. What did you think you needed to change coming out of the locker room?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about just pass rush lanes. We talked a little bit about what defenses we're going to be in. And offensively, we talked a little bit about completions, a little bit about a profit game. You know, let's get the thing going, not try to push the ball downfield quite as much. I think that also helped open up the run game a little bit. So Lamar did a great job. A lot of that was his thinking as well. I mean, he was all over what he thought we needed to do in the second half. Collaborative effort for sure. Todd deserves a lot of credit. I thought he called a great game, especially in the second half. And Mike Mike was, he's on fire.
John, did you get a sense from that this was gonna be the type of game they were gonna get out of Lamar?
Yeah, no, I really did. We talked about it. I thought Lamar was going to play great, but he's played great all year. And just now, it's more important than ever. He's been locked in from day one. That's his turn, and we've all kind of ran with that. And I think he's directed this whole thing. But like he said, we got more work to do.
John, were you surprised how much they blitzed you guys?
No, not at all, because they had a little bit of success doing it the first game. They picked their spots. They've got a good blitz team. We kind of expected it. We prepared for it. We worked on blitz stuff for 2 weeks. Lamar did a great job. The offensive line did a great job. And we had our moments. And we had to make a few adjustments in terms of how we were picking them up. They changed up a couple things for this game too, and we had to flip our protections a little bit.
So what were your adjustments in the second half, Jeff, to their blitz?
No, I think we just did a better job of kind of getting the ball out on time. I think Todd called a different game. It wasn't so much hold the ball and try to push the ball downfield, which Lamar did a good job. But once Lamar was able to sit back there and just kind of pick them apart, getting the ball out quick, he just did a great job of that and took control of the game.
So that video just appeared of you doing another dance after. How many more you got left?
No,
in
it
your
wasn't me.
pocket?
It wasn't me. It was everybody. I mean, George Gossi started it off because he wanted, as a Night Train by the Gap Band. I don't know what song it was. A train song by the Gap Band. I should know that song. It's my era. But George got us started, and we all got in there and danced. So I always want you to know it wasn't just me. Just
John,
We saw Gus Edwards leave. Is he okay? And what do you think of Dalvin Cook?
I thought Dalvin Cook did. Gus is okay. I thought Dalvin was a spark. He did a nice job to finish the thing off at the end when we needed it.
And also Justice Hill, right?
Justice had a great game. Justice, so many runs all throughout the game. At the end, a couple hard runs. Yeah, I told Justice, I said, man, you're really, really talented, but your heart's even bigger.
John, you kind of touched on it in your opening statement, but how meaningful is it for you and this group to be the first in franchise history to host an AFC Championship game?
It's meaningful, now we got to get to work and go win it. That's really that's the challenge.
Is it just kind of feel like that initial win just frees you guys up a little bit? You talk about that, back to that edginess, does that kind of give an albatross off you a little bit?
Our guys are gonna stay edgy. Our guys are gonna stay edgy. I don't know, whatever you want to call it, but they're determined and they're motivated, and it's gonna be a great team coming in here next week. We're gonna have to play our best football. I promise you, that's all these guys are gonna be thinking about.
John, what happened on the punt return touchdown from the Texans? What kind of broke down?
Yeah, it wasn't, I know Jordan will probably tell you it wasn't the greatest punt he's ever had. It was into the wind. It was really a tough punt. The drop was tough. Got in his hands fast. We were skewed to the left more because we thought maybe we'd go left a little more, and thought they blocked it really well, and he's a great returner. I'm proud of the fact the rest of the game that we got it under wraps, but I give him a lot of credit. That's a very good special teams unit. It was a great return by them.
John, why do you think your guys designed runs for Lamar? The boots, the draws were so effective, knowing that there's always going to be eyes on him.
Yeah, but you got to put eyes on the other guys too, because their offensive line blocks and the downhill runs were effective, and you got to put a lot of resources in stopping those runs. So I guess you give the offensive line and running backs credit for forcing all that attention inside, and Lamar is so good getting the ball back outside. All set? Thank you.
It'd be inappropriate if I said that. Would, where yeah, we wasn't really doing anything, to that defense. They was playing great, and that offense was playing great as well, but we wasn't doing our job, with our unit in the second half. We wanted to put points on the board, start moving the ball, moving the chains, and start looking like ourselves.
Lamar, obviously.
Take us through the TD to Isaiah. It looked like he was asking for it high in the air. Was that the touchdown pass that you threw?
The receivers call for the ball, tight ends call for the ball when they feel like they got someone beat. So that's all he was doing. But I feel like he was getting grabbed a little from 24. But I just had to place the ball, throw it back shoulder because he was undercutting, and he just made it. He went up, made a great catch. The rest is history.
Lamar, I know it's one game at a time, but now that you guys are going to the AFC Championship game, your dream of wanting to hold the Lombardi Trophy, is it starting to, feel like it's getting closer at this point?
Nah, because we got to finish. Still playoffs. We're not in the dance yet, but I'm looking forward to next week. To be honest with you, I'm not even thinking about Super Bowl until we handle business.
The fact that it took you sort of a half to get moving on offense, how much do you think that's a function of sort of 3 weeks without playing a meaningful game and getting back into the groove there?
Everything can play a part of it. You can't just say like we was rusty. It was windy. It was cold as heck out there. Everything played a factor. But the thing proud about our team is, you know, we came out second half and we did what we were supposed to do, put points on the board.
Lamar, sorry, how much more in control of the game do you kind of feel now versus maybe some of the playoff appearances in the past? Are you looking at things and saying, yeah, I have more experience, I'm more ready for this?
Definitely. I got the keys to the offense, and when I see it, I just try to put my team in the best position I could.
Lamar, what happened on the second touchdown run of yours? You went back into the tunnel. Like, what took you all the way back there, and what was it like coming out?
What took me back? What happened when I came out? Mo got the camera. You know, me and Ronnie taking pictures. That's what happened when I came out the tunnel. But I don't know what led me to it. I just seen it, and I was off to the races.
Were you surprised at all that they blitzed as much as they did in the first half? It was like 70% of your drop.
No, I wasn't surprised. You know, they were having success first half with mixing us all blitz and zero. They was doing anything, but we watched a lot of film. We was prepared. We just making little mistakes on, you know, protecting the blitz and getting the ball out on time. But second half, I felt like we were doing what we were supposed to do.
Who did most of the talking at halftime?
Hmm?
Who did most of the talking at halftime?
I did.
You did.
A lot of cursing at halftime. That's why I said it was inappropriate, man.
John was also talking about how you and Todd were really collaborating together to make some of those adjustments at halftime. What has Todd's trust in you and your insight meant this year?
It means a lot, you know, for your OC to, you know, trusting you to be out there playing his team, putting our team in a great situation. That's all I need. You know, from there.
Lamar, you had two more. Much has been said about you having one playoff win over the course of your career. Have you heard that? Did it motivate you?
You know I heard that.
What's that?
You know I heard that. I seen it. I don't even gotta hear it. I see it. You know, but it is what it is. I really don't care about what people say. You know, I'm trying to win day in, day out. Every time I'm on that field, I'm trying to play to the best of my ability. Those guys just had our team number in the past, but it's a different team, like I've been saying, and we just gotta stay locked in on what's ahead of us.
This is a significant accomplishment.
Definitely. I mean, it being my first playoff win for the Ravens, you know, it's definitely a blessing. You know, I definitely go, smile, get joyful. But like Lamar always tells us, you know, be where your feet are, because the next game is just right around the corner, and the goal is to play two more. So I understand we want to know this week. We're only blessed with the opportunity to play next week. So winning that game and just going to our
Take us through the touchdown. Lamar's rolling right. Everybody's following him. He finds you. You make sort of a basketball move. Describe that.
Really just, ran a delayed corner. Stingley played it great. I mean, he was trying to play the corner over the top, and I just throw my hand in the air, L threw it back to the bar, and I was still high point.
Everybody knows you can play. What does it mean to be playing in playoff games, knowing that Mark might be coming back, but you've been filling in to a high level?
Just having the blessings of all the skill positions we have on the offense, I understand that anybody at any point in this offense can take over the game. So, having a high-powered all-pro and Mark Andrews having best his offense is all, rolling the way we are. I mean, you try something.
Isaiah, did you tell Lamar after the one that almost got picked to throw it up?
Yeah.
It looked like that basically called your shot there?
Yeah, so the first one, he tried to, shoot it in because he thought, it was a big enough window. And I told him, going back to the huddle, I just told him, throw it up. So the second one, I guess he just threw it back shoulder, and threw it up high point and give me another shot. And I just went to go make him run.
When you make a play like that and you moss somebody, what's the feeling?
It's like Little League. I mean, you want to celebrate, you want to do everything, but you also got to remember that, a little bit of cash come out your pocket if you celebrate a little too hard. So I understand that, and just a blessing.
You play with Lamar every day. You see him do what he did again today. 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns. Are you just used to this now, or are you still, in admiration of what he does?
Sometimes in game you definitely want to sit back and watch Lamar be Lamar, but he shows day in and day out that he is the MVP and Lamar Jackson. So, definitely having the blessing of the MVP on our team in the playoffs, it's hard to stop.
Did Lamar say anything to the offense in particular in the locker room at halftime?
He just reminded us that it was a 0-0 game. There's definitely things to fix, and to understand that we still had 30 minutes to play and just execute.
He said there was a lot of cursing in that. Was that?
It's definitely, but as you curse.
How would you kind of describe the thought and the mindset at halftime?
I mean, you know, everybody's gonna be down. I mean, you know, we're in a game that we felt like we should have, you know, got points on drives we didn't. So, you know, going to halftime where it is 10-10 and we feel like we hadn't executed, but Lamar, obviously the leaders on the offense, reminding us that 0-0. I mean, we played a sloppy first half, so I understand that as long as we execute the little things that we had to do in the second half, it was going to be what it was.
You guys celebrate this one knowing you will host the AFC Championship Game. This city has not seen that in more than 50 years. What does it mean as you celebrate this, knowing what's ahead and what it means to reach this level?
Really just going to enjoy it. I mean, today, probably tomorrow a little bit. I mean, get a jump start on, you know, studying, I mean, back on film on both the teams I've played, and then understand that, you know, an offense is going to have to come in here and play against us and the bank.
Isaiah, just personally, how do you feel about all that you've been able to accomplish over these past couple of weeks, capitalizing on your opportunity?
It's been a blessing. I mean, going, you know, week in, week out, you know, being where my feet are, you know, really just encouraging myself to get better week in and understand that being in the right space when Lamar needs me.
No worries, Montel. So you set a tone with a 53-yard field goal in a wind that I couldn't tell which way it was going because it seemed like it was going every which way. How difficult was that kick?
The wind was definitely a factor today. I'm glad we were able to, you know, knock down the kicks that we did have today, and you know, like you said, especially just get us started to catalyze the momentum and the scoring. Tyler did an excellent job throwing back 12 o'clock laces. Jordan got the ball spotted pretty quickly and accurately, and you know, was just able to follow through on the ball and like pick a target and commit to it. In that direction, it was a little bit easier to navigate. Going to the right of our bench was it was just a matter of picking a target line close to the middle and then striking the ball as you know, solidly as possible. You know, on the PATs and the field goal we had at the end of the game, going in that direction, it was definitely a little bit more of a challenge. But that's something that we expect when we play in our stadium. I don't know if I would necessarily call it an advantage of ours. I'll let any and everybody else say that because I'm just focused on making one kick at a time when we're out there, when we have the opportunity. And you know, fortunately, we were able to come through for our team today in a significant way.
You're the last guy left from the last Super Bowl team. Do you expect guys are going to come to you to talk about that experience? Because it's only one game to the Super Bowl, but you've got to stay focused on that one game, not the Super Bowl.
Well, I think you said it right there. You just got to stay focused on the task at hand, stay focused on you know, one game at a time, and then break it down into smaller parts than that. And that's, you know, that's something that we've been talking about the whole season. Our team leadership and everybody. I don't think I could leave out a name when I talk about team leadership. It's a part of the reason why we don't put the C's on our jerseys, because everybody in this room is respected for whatever version of leadership that they bring to the table. So, you know, that all said, our leadership, like, you know, the veteran guys, and, you know, the heartbeat of our team, Lamar Jackson, Roquon Smith, Patrick Queen, Kevin Zeitler, and, you know, again, I could name every person in this room. We've all talked about taking it, you know, one step at a time, one play at a time, one meeting at a time, one painstaking training camp practice at a time, knowing that we have the potential to put ourselves on a glorious road to put all of our fingerprints on Tiffany Silver in a few weeks, and that's something that we have talked about. And it's real and it's out there for the taking, and this team, I think, is built to handle the challenge accordingly.
You won a home playoff game your rookie year. It's been a while since then. Do you appreciate the value of that much more now?
Yeah, I guess you're right now that you mention it. It has been a while, but man, it feels good. It's pretty special. This locker room was, as the kids would say, lit after the game. Coaches dancing around. I think we had George Gotzi doing a soul train. It was great. You know, so I'm sure that video will make the rounds sooner rather than later. But anytime you win in this league, it's special. When you win a home playoff game, you know, especially like you said, we haven't been able to do it in a while. There is kind of a build-up to it, so, you know, being able to, you know, slay that dragon and move on to the next one, it's a big deal. But when Lamar addressed the team just a moment ago, he said what we're all thinking, what we're all feeling. This was just the next step. We have pretty big goals ahead of us, and this was just a step in the right direction. Nothing more, nothing less. At the exact same time, this is awesome, man. Like winning a home playoff game, the stadium was an electric factory today. It was a blast, man, and I'm glad to be a part of it. Appreciate it.
All right, Justin, this is also the first time that the Ravens will host a home AFC Championship game. I mean, for you, just how rewarding is that you got to go to a Super Bowl as a rookie and now you're here?
It is really special. I think what makes the experience the most special is the people involved along the way. From our owner Steve, Ozzie Newsome, Eric DaCosta, and their whole staff, like all of the coaches that have been a part of this season, that 2012 season when we were fortunate enough to go and win it all. It's always been about the people, and obviously when the destination is a Lombardi Trophy, that's pretty amazing. But what I think of is the journey that we've all been on, especially this season. There have been a lot of things going right for us, not a lot going wrong. But this team just has shown an ability to be consistent. And I think if we can continue that, we're going to give ourselves a really good chance to accomplish everything that we set out to from the moment we all came together in April and May, all the way through training camp. It's a special time.
Awesome, thank you.
Justin, Lamar's heard a lot about the playoffs, and I mean all you guys over the last few years with some different circumstances. For him to now be in this position, you just talked about you were on a Super Bowl team. What's it like to see him go out there and have a performance the way he did today, and to lead you guys now where you're one win away from the Super Bowl?
No, I'll just say none of us are surprised. I think we've all known all along what he's capable of. And the fact that it hadn't been reflected in postseason success, as fans, media, whoever else may deem it so, that's their problem. That's not Lamar's. When you take the 10,000-foot view, just getting to the postseason is already incredibly difficult. And obviously we did that, and we have done that, not by some accident. It's because we have Lamar Jackson at quarterback, and he's an incredible player. He continues to put us in a position to win and to have just overall success as an organization. I can't speak highly enough of the job that he does for our team and this city, man. The city loves L, man. It's cool to see.
Speaking of the city, how important do you think it'll be for the city and the fans to have the AFC Championship game here?
Well, as we've been talking about, it's going to be the first one that Baltimore's got to host. So that right there is pretty special in and of itself. This town, man, it's a town of folks that work their tails off. They love football. It's a town that celebrates like all different walks of life. And to see see all of our fans come together on a night like tonight and support us in such a big way, and know that we're maybe a small part of bringing them joy. That relationship between the players, the coaches, this team, and the city is, it's one that I'm very, very proud and very happy to be a part of.
What do you expect?
And then just a quick follow-up. You said earlier that the locker room was lit after the game. Have you been a part of this type of locker room dynamic since being here? Or I guess what makes this dynamic different?
Yeah, we've always made it a point to have a good time around here. We've always made it a point to have fun. Let as Harbs would say, you let your light shine. We definitely do a good job of letting guys just be themselves, be an individual within the framework of something greater, something bigger than each and every one of ourselves. And I think if you ask anybody else in this locker room or anybody else in this organization, they would say the same thing. Is like there's no hierarchy. There's meritocracy. It's, we understand that we are all measured on what we bring to the table as football players, but we're all valued as individuals and as people, and that's definitely ingrained in our culture here, and it's really special to. And I will say that this team is, has taken that to the next level. I've been around some pretty big characters over the years. Like Terrell Suggs, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed. I can name a dozen more. But this team is really this team has been a blast to be a part of.
The last year, how loud and hostile the environment can be, and as well as this year. So I think best fans in football and the way they come out. I don't know what they be on, liquid courage or what, but they get at the top of their lungs, and I love to hear it. So it's definitely playing a big part in us. And I was talking with some of the edge rushers early in the week, and they really enjoyed even more because knowing the snap counts, it's going to be more predictable when it's as loud. So make sure you guys come out loud as crap next week.
So for you personally, what does it mean to be one game from the Super Bowl?
Next game up. So that's our mission. Our mission is to get there and do what we do, but it's going to take 1 week at a time. So whoever we play next week, they come into the bank. And like I said, before you guys came in, whoever come has to get dealt with. There's a villain to every story. Hey, that's Cinderella story again, so on to the next.
Bro, you guys really shut down their running game today. How did you guys go about doing it, and how much important emphasis was that?
Oh, that was huge. All week, we stopped the run, but that's with any team. You stop the run, make a team one-dimensional, and it's going to be very hard to do anything. And that's something. That's credit to the big dogs up front. I think the best front seven in football, starting with our front four, whoever's in there, whatever the rotation is, and then the best two combo in the league with me and PQ. And so when you look at it like that, you stop the run, make them one-dimensional. That's when we like ball hawks and guys that make plays on the ball do what they do.
How key was the pressure you guys were putting on the quarterback and shutting down CJ Stroud?
Yeah, it was huge, knowing that you get him rattled. It's gonna be a tough day for him, and that's just like any quarterback. You make a move, get off the spot, change up the picture, and get pressure on him. So at the end of the day, that was part of the plan, and we executed the plan to a T. Besides a couple plays here and there, but hey, they're in the league as well. But that was a really good team. So hats off to those guys. They had a great season, but hey, it had to end, and we delivered.
This defense has been making statements all season after the type of game they had against the Browns. What did it mean to keep them completely out of the end zone as a defense?
Yeah, we're not the Browns. We're the Baltimore Ravens at the end of the day. So whoever they play before us, it really don't matter. I put this 11, whoever's out on the field with us versus anyone in the league, anyone in the world at that. So we're the best front 11, best 11 in the game, regardless, front seven as well. So I like us versus anyone, any given day, and twice on game day.
Hey, Ro, guys who wear the black hats are feared or bad guys? Is this a role you're adopting for the postseason?
Honestly, when I seen it in my closet, I actually supposed to wear it in Arizona with PQ, but I forgot my boots. So I had my boots at the house today, and then I was just like, hey, when I was thinking about it this morning, I'm like, hey, they are the Texans and they are the Cowboys, but I got this hat on, so I'm daddy.
Do you gonna keep rolling with this, or will you change up for next week?
Oh, next week will be something totally different. This week was had to handle business as business handled, and we did what we had to do, so maybe this hat will go back up in the closet somewhere.
Do you have a Buffalo or a Kansas City themed, outfit plan for whoever you face?
It'll be something sweet, so I'm sure we'll. My plan is to let you guys see it next week after the game right here as well. So it'll definitely be something sweet. Whoever we play, line them up. They got to get dealt with. Business handled.
Do you have a preference for who it is coming to Baltimore?
I don't care who it is. It can be my little cousins. It can be grandparents or whatever. You roll that ball out there. They got to get dealt with. They come into the bank by any means necessary. So whoever it is, I don't care.
Roquon, obviously the defense played well all 4 quarters. Lamar talked about, and he said some things at halftime to get the guys. What did you think of Lamar in the second half and how he energized that second half?
He was just being himself at the end of the day. I think he's the best quarterback in the game right now at doing what he do, and he can beat you in any facet of the game at the end of the day. So I'm just, like I tell people all year long, I'm grateful that I'm playing with him and not against him, because trying to deal with him dropping back, nothing's there, he takes off, or something's there, he's dropping it off there. So it's hard to game plan versus that, and you can't really emulate that. You can't do that in practice. So guys try to do it day in and day out, but hey, it never works, and we're on the next week.
Yeah, I mean they they feed off of big plays. Just watching games in the past, they're a big play team, and we just try to be sticky, on receivers, eliminate big plays. Let the D line eat and make it tough on the quarterback.
Brandon, do you have some special Polaroids that are already been taken after this?
Oh yeah, no, it's already filled up. Probably gonna get some more before I leave, but I'm excited to see him.
Brandon, you guys led the league in sacks and takeaways. You didn't have any tonight. What's that say about the defense that even when you're not getting those big momentum-changing plays, that you still were able to hold them to 3 points?
Yeah, I think it's just a testament, to our defense. Obviously we want to have sacks, we want to have turnovers, but at the end of the day, it's playoff football. You just got to rely on technique and execution, when you are getting those turnovers and sacks, and we did that tonight.
Can you describe what this room looked like post-game before we all got here? I mean, was it, after what was happening in the first half and halftime, was it just a sea of emotion? You're still playing? Like, what was it?
Yeah, it was, like I said earlier, it was kind of a mixture of, we still got more work to do. And also, enjoying the moment. The job's not finished. This is just another step, to where we're trying to go. So we definitely are satisfied. But it's hard to win, in this league, and it's hard to win in the playoffs. So we definitely gonna enjoy this one. But we know we got more work to do.
Thanks, Brandon.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.